is like you and I are in our like content creator bubble sometimes. Like we see
Oh yeah.
other COD creators, you know, and we get a certain perception of what people think about Call of Duty. But then you go in and go to like a reunion or something, and you just hear like what the average Joe gamer thinks about Call of Duty, and that is where you get like a lot of the raw opinion from. So it was just enlightening to hear them talk about that.
Yeah, I always think about the guy, the interaction you had with the one guy at that store.
At the
That
furniture
Yeah,
store.
that was just like, yeah, dude, is that a Black Ops 3 shirt? And you're like, no, this is Black Ops 7 or 6, whatever you said. You're like, what?
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah, I think the classic playlist, and I guess this is kind of tying in with BO2, but the BO7 classic playlist has brought me back to Call of Duty in a way that it's probably MW19. I kept thinking about it.
You've been streaming that a lot, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm streaming again. Like, and that's my biggest thing with streaming is I have to have something that I want to play for more than
really
60
grind,
minutes and then be done. So I've been playing this classic playlist almost every single day, and it just I've been seeing tweets on the timeline, people like other creators saying the same thing. It is just so fun to play a Call of Duty that is just simple. Like, you go in there, there's no frills, you're not sliding around, you're not bouncing around, you're not seeing some dude stim. It's like you're just back to using your gun. Even the clicking with the sprinting is something that I enjoy. You know, like, now everything's so dumbified, like you said, but it's not simple.
Yeah.
Somehow that doesn't make sense in my head, but it's like it's dumbed down, but it's still not a simple game, which makes.
Like, do you remember, like, this is a good example, like, so correct me if I'm wrong, in the classic playlist you have limited sprint, right? So you have to click into sprint again.
Yes.
Okay.
There's no sprint assist.
Now, right now they did away with that. I want to say, I mean, they kind of tweaked it, you know, even back in like BO4 and like Modern Warfare 2019. But they kind of gave us unlimited sprint and then just said, oh, it's better. But and then I remember in Black Ops 6, we were at Treyarch and they actually showed this feature where it was a movement assist option.
Yes.
Where you can just hold forward.
Yes.
And if there's a crouching thing, it'll crouch for you.
Yep.
If there's a mantle, it'll mantle. And I'm like, what is this? Like,
yep.
I understand accessibility to a degree, but from what you're saying, there's something about like the tactile, like each movement and kind of the more deliberate button pushing actually feels better in a game sometimes rather than the game just simulating all that for you.
Well, and not to get into the pros because I don't always agree with what they're doing, but the pros disable auto attack sprint. Like they like every pro clicks down to sprint. Like that's like a general
because
rule.
you need more granular control over it if you're actually playing at that high of a level.
Yep. So I think like it's just been so, and it allows. allows you to kind of like not sprint around a corner and like kind of peek your corner, but because I always had automatic tack sprint on with the old CODs, or like not the old CODs, but the recent CODs, because just like it's just what you do. And I really learned it's pretty much, yeah, it might be now, but like playing the classic mode, I realized how bad I had gotten at Call of Duty. Not bad, but like bad habits, I guess is the word.
Yeah, you get lazy.
Yeah, you just get lazy. You're sliding around, you're sprinting, like you don't really think about what you're doing, because if you get into a fight, you can kind of get out of it real quick. And I remember the first couple days of playing Classic, probably first day, I'm running in the wide open, just like sprinting at people, and I'm like, oh wait, he can like shimmy the head glitch, and then I'm just standing there, pants around my ankles, like oopsie. And so I think that is a huge.
We picked up so many bad habits from
so
modern Call of Duty, and even in zombies, man. Like, I think if a lot of people, I mean, including myself, sometimes when I go back to play these older games, like I get got in my first game, because my brain is used to the really forgiving mechanics of like Black Ops 7.
6 times, you have shields on.
And you can be very like loosey-goosey about your movement. Where in the older games you really can't. You have to be very deliberate how you move. And with these BO1 and 2 ports that people are going back to these older zombie maps, like if you've been playing a lot of modern zombies, these things might be like a splash of cold water.
They're gonna make them cry, man. These zombies people out here, they don't get it.
It's gonna be jarring for I wonder how many people see. This is a weird thought to me. I wonder how many people, like Call of Duty players, let's say modern, right, have started 2019 and then on, anytime in that range, and then are going back to play Black Ops 1 and 2, what those people will think about it, and if like they will adjust well, or think it sucks, or it's restrictive, or the movement is trash, or you know what I mean. Like I'm curious of what newer players are going to think about that stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like some are, like you said, they're going to get a rude awakening when they go into buried and get slapped by the first guy before you even fall down the hill
twice. And
before they even fall down the hill or the hole, and they're going to go oopsie. So I miss that, to be honest. I think that was what always, and I've said this multiple times, that was always my biggest complaint with modern zombies, is the urgency. Like there's no urgency in them. That you have your gun load out with attachments, and the zombies are already sitting there in front of you. Like, part of my main thought of zombies, I will never forget, is booting in and hearing those boards open, and you're like, oh crap, and then you only have a pistol. Like that, it takes them 8 shots to kill the zombie.
Yeah, you always felt like you were on the back foot. Like you never felt stronger than the challenge ahead of you. So you wanted to go get stronger, which is kind of the case now. It's just not the same. It's not the same anymore.
Yeah.
And that's for a lot of reasons we won't get into in this episode. But I do think that the gameplay will be an interesting breath of fresh air for maybe veterans like me and you, and might be a new challenge for newer COD players. The interesting thing, and that this is what people need to know, I've been seeing this all over YouTube, is people are, this should be obvious by now, people are claiming it's a remaster. It's not a remaster. It's a port.
Okay.
Now there's 2 things I want to bring up to you. Firstly, it is a port, which just means it's the base game, just playable as you remember it on PlayStation 4 and 5, because those BO1 and 2 were playable backwards compatible on Xbox, but not on PS4. Also, the port itself is not being developed by Treyarch. It is a port, which just means it's the base game, just playable as you remember it on PlayStation 4 and 5, because those BO1 and 2 were playable backwards compatible on Xbox, but not on PS4. Like you had to have a PlayStation 3 to be able to play those games again. Also, the port itself is not being developed by Treyarch. That might be obvious, but it's being made by Iron Galaxy.
I have something to say about that, by the way, too.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
The 2 best things that came out of Black Ops 7, neither of them were developed from Treyarch. The classic mode was developed by Beanox or whatever it is.
Beanox,
and then this port...
They did last gen Black Ops 3 as well, which is really funny.
Yeah, and then this port is done by somebody else. So, again, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know.
Bro, I have to, actually, to your point, I have to add this. So, Totenreich, the last Zombies map in BO7, is really good. It's actually a great map. I enjoyed it a lot. You want to know what's funny? Treyarch did not make it. High Moon Studios made that map.
I don't know what his... I don't want to go on a rant about Treyarch, but I kind of do.
Same. And I'm not trying to be that guy, but at this point, I'm like, what does Treyarch do anymore? Also, Treyarch's studio head, Mark Gordon, retired since our last episode. Mark Gordon, another OG.
I have something to say about that as well, actually. We got a lot... What happened? Why is there so much COD news?
So much happened. Yeah, so much happened for COD, which is like, you would think it would be when, around the time a new game is releasing, but it's just the middle of the summer and like all this stuff is going down. I do want to add this. Mark Gordon was always like a studio executive. He wasn't like one of the like creative inputs really. Like he was kind of the guy that makes sure, he keeps the project rolling and keeps everything together, but still a very important role. But it is a Treyarch OG technically also departing. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, by now, all of the old guard virtually from old Treyarch is gone. Almost all of them.
Yeah.
So Treyarch is a different entity now.
Can I give you a prediction? Well, okay, so I don't ever want anybody to be fired, any of that. Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah.
But I gotta think the shakeup with IW, with the new people being in charge, and BO6 and BO7 underperforming, and then this guy steps down, I almost wonder if it was one of those like, hey, why don't you step down, or we're gonna have to send you packing. Like, because I just feel like there's and even the Greg Reisdorf, he left, after MW3, and he was one of the heads. It feels like there just seems to be a shift in who's in charge. And to be honest with you, the last Call of Duty, like 5 or 6, have not been very good. Sure, they do their billions of dollars, but I say this all the time. The community sentiment towards Call of Duty is the worst it's ever been. And so...
And the only reason it's high is because Black Ops 1 and 2 are coming to PlayStation.
Yes, and the classic mode.
And the classic mode.
Yeah, so it just feels like, I don't know, it just feels like there's a change in the winds here a little bit with them.
Oh, yeah.
And, I hope this... and I kind of defended the guy, too. Like, if I had to create Call of Duty content for 22 years... I think I'd probably be a little dry with ideas as well, So
sure.
I don't.
And then some of them are just getting old.
Yeah, Like your creativity might not be as flowing. If I'm 50 years old making YouTube videos, I'm gonna assume they are not gonna be the same as they were right now. So
right. They might be. But,
they might be. Call of Duty's back, guys. At 50, screaming that, but. Yeah, so I think, I don't know why I went on a tangent there, but I just feel like there is
a change happening.
It just feels different.
COD, in the industry.
Yeah.
It's different. And that's the thing is, like, I'm not going to doom post here about Treyarch and say that, or just about any of the studios, and say that, like, oh, because all the OGs are gone, they'll never make anything good again. I don't believe that. I still believe there's a lot of really talented people there, and we do see that from time to time with good stuff they do make in modern COD. Not always, but a lot of times they do. What I will say, though, my point is that they might make really great stuff, but stuff that is not necessarily for you or I anymore.
Yeah.
Right? The people that made stuff for us was like those older teams. And these newer people are making things that are probably for a newer generation of players.
But I argue with that because the new generation of players... No, I agree with what you're saying. I disagree with the thought process.
Disagree with the direction.
Yeah, like I will fight this till I'm blue in the face. I got video games passed down to me through my uncles and my parents. Like, if the parents aren't playing that game, the kid is probably never going to play that game. So they're trying to appease to this younger crowd with modern Call of Duty, but they're pushing away their probably 90% of their audience. Like
their
anybody,
actual fan base.
Their actual fan base that grew up with COD, that eat, breathe, sleep, talking about COD.
Yeah.
And
which I think is evidenced by the people
what's happening
recently.
Yeah, that's what's happening. All of our people, like we've talked about, people are like, Call of Duty, MW4, what? And that's our age group. And even older, of course. If you're 40, 50, and you probably were 30 when World at War came out or whatever it is, you ain't touching these new Call of Duties, which means you're not passing it down to your kids. And I know that kind of seems kind of insane, but I think it's the generational thing.
Would probably want to show their kids like their classics.
Yes. Like this is the game I grew up playing, and this is the game I still play. And then your kid's watching you play Call of Duty, and he goes, "Hey son, give it a shot," you know. And then the kid's addicted to Call of Duty. Just like my introduction was my uncle showing me Medal of Honor. And then Medal of Honor, you know, so then I'm learning, I love to learn about shooters and FPS and history in the game, and then COD comes out, and it's just an easy transition there.
So I started saying, Uncle showed me Medal of Honor. That led to Halo, that led to COD. It was like, but you're actually, that's a good point. I hadn't really considered that. I just think it is so indicative of where we're at, where not only was that Treyarch's most liked tweet ever, but also just the people we interact with in real life are so much more excited for that prospect than MW4. Now, one question I do have is, I understand why people are really excited. My question is, outside of people who, I guess, don't own a PlayStation, like people who have Xbox, they are, like, those old games are backwards compatible, and they are still playable on a modern hardware, right? My question is that any different? Do you know what I mean? Like,
they're different. The ports are going to be updated.
Necessarily going to be different.
They're going to be different. Yeah, it's updated server. So like,
okay.
So now that's where people are complaining.
More robust anti-cheat.
Yeah, that's what we assume. Again,
the backwards compatible servers stink.
That's what people now are complaining about on the Xbox side. It's like, can we get a port of BO1 and BO2? You know, because I've told you this. I've kind of faded on my every COD videos because it's just so difficult to find games now.
A lot of them aren't playable. I tried to load up OG Modern Warfare 2. It's not playable.
Yeah, it is in like certain times of the week and day. Like, if you do like Saturday where you have more chance of more people being on, there's less of those hack lobbies because there's grown adults playing the game. It's not some dude, Seven Eyes or whatever his name is. I would love to get you banned if I could get a plug for that and they would actually do it. Just ruining the entire MW2 experience. You boot in TDM, you get put into a search and destroy with a bunch of spinning snipers. It's like,
that's literally what happened to me.
You need a job, man.
Row loaded up and the map was loading, and then it changed to Afghan, and there was a bunch of people
off the helicopter. I'm like, you guys need a job. That is that simple. If you want to ruin MW2, you need a job. But so it's going to be separate.
So the port will be different.
Yeah, it's going to be PS5 network, so it's not like you're booting up some sort of emulator like you are with the Xbox. And so I hope this will then encourage them to maybe make an Xbox port. I don't know the difference between how that would work because of networks and stuff, but here's what I've said too to people like in my stream is, I mean, it's no secret that PlayStation won like the console war the last 2 years, so you know, I think there's a lot more people that own a PS5 anyway. Yeah, like there's more people that own a PS5 anyway, so at the end of the day, the most opportunity to kind of revive Call of Duty is bringing a port to PS4 and PS5, I think.
I'm curious how they're going to do pricing on it, and that's not something they have announced yet. They haven't announced like a release date or a price.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like what?
Well, there's the rumor. There's the rumored price. Have you seen the rumored price?
Was it $40 a game?
Yeah. So the Xbox store got an update on their pricing. It was $40 for the game, each game, and then $10 for DLC instead of $15. So if you're trying to do the whole package, 80 plus what's that?
It's a little higher than I'd like to see.
Honestly, my biggest thing is if you're going to charge $40 for the game, I think DLC should be my rant, if I can keep talking here, my rant is, if you charge $40, include the DLC, just include it anyway, because it'll be like a brand new experience for some people that couldn't afford the DLC back in the day because they were 12 years old.
Sure.
And so, like, everybody would almost be getting kind of a brand new game because it was, you're getting the base game and then 4 map packs. So,
I wonder if it would be
with
healthy
the guns.
to sell the DLC all as one thing.
Or you could do that. But then, again, then you're dividing the like, you don't want to divide a player base.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they sell it as one package, then everyone has all the DLC, rather than you have to buy individual bits again. I don't know if that would be healthy for this implementation. That's just a thought I'm having.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, I think
you don't want to split up the player base, but also like $10 instead of 15 for the DLC is like, I don't know. Again, it's maybe a little higher than I would like, but
here's the thing. Number one, people are going to pay it.
Sure.
And
I mean, I will.
Yeah, like, I think most people are going to pay it. And I think my prediction with this one, again, no evidence, but I think that this was made because of how bad BO7 did. And they're not going to charge $20 when they're trying to make up money. This is Activision we're talking about.
Yeah.
So all this money they lost with Game Pass and BO7 being a flop, if they can earn it back on a port and kind of get back to where they thought they were going to be, they're going to do it, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, I guess as far as they're concerned, it's not a bad move. And hopefully, best case scenario, we get an actual healthy game.
Yeah.
We can play multiplayer. The servers aren't fried, One thing I did hear, again, the rumor, if that's true, is that the microtransactions, like the camos and stuff, will be free.
Yeah.
Like, if DLC is paid and the base game is paid, all of the, special $2 camos they added originally in BO2 will be free. That would be really cool if that was the case.
Yeah.
I could see them doing that realistically. So, I mean, I'm sure they'll do some kind of package bundle of maybe both the games and all the DLC or whatever. There'll be different options, but I'll be curious how that all shakes out.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. It probably is a move to recoup some of their losses from the Game Pass just rug they got, and BO7 not selling as well as they had hoped.
It has to be. To me, there's no other reason. I even think...
Now, if this goes well, do they do this for other games?
I messaged Charlie Intel, and I was like, how long do you think that this has been in production? I think he said a couple months, maybe? I can't remember what he said to me, but he's like, not very long. Like, this wasn't planned in November. So that's what made me give me that idea on top of it. It's like, well, if this wasn't going alongside BO7 and they made it and poured it, this was an idea that was like, okay, hold on a second. How can we make a bunch of money quickly?
Yeah.
In March, they go, got it.
For very little work, right?
No work, probably.
But they're not building a new game.
No.
The game already exists, and it's just a port to a console that didn't have it before, which I'm not going to say is no work, but I'm going to say is significantly less work than building a brand new game from the ground up.
Yeah.
It's just
not
comparable. I'm curious if COD does have a little revival because of this. Do you think people getting back on to play Call of Duty for these ports will, in turn, get people also in the mood to play the new stuff like Modern Warfare 4?
Yeah, I think the only...
Do you see that being a direct pipeline?
I think that's the pipeline. I think I'm a little concerned because with people coming back for the classic playlist and then people coming back for BO2 and BO1, MW4 is going to come out and it's going to be a little slippery, a little slidey, a little bit more movement heavy, and then I'm going to be like, are people then going to hate this game because of that?
Yeah. I mean, tell you the truth, I don't see myself playing anything on these ports besides multiplayer, because if I want to play the campaign, I've already got them on PC. I can do that no problem.
Yeah.
If I want to play zombies, I can also do that on PC. And I normally play solo zombies. The only added benefit to PlayStation would be if I'm playing like public lobbies or something, or I guess playing with one of my IRL friends. But to be honest, the only thing I'm going to be playing on the ports is MP. And because, again, I don't really have any other reason to play the other modes on PlayStation because I can already access them.
Yeah.
But I can't access a healthy multiplayer. That will be the only way to do it. So I think a lot of people will be like that, and I wonder how much will also be then interested in playing more COD, like if that will give them the COD itch again. But at the same time, I can see a lot of people just sticking to that game.
I could see them, if it's healthy, no hackers, and like clean matchmaking, I don't know why you would get off of it, to be honest. It's such a, and then if you get bored of BO2, we talked about this in previous podcasts, the games are so different. BO1 and BO2 is a entirely different game. It's Black Ops, but the game doesn't feel like 6 to 7. It's a totally different identity. You got a different zombies feel. You got a totally different campaign. So I just feel like that is just, it's going to encourage people to just stay on those.
Yeah, I wonder, I'm sure this will go over well. There's no way it doesn't, because everyone's very excited for it, and again, it was Treyarch's most liked tweet in history, which is absolutely wild. And again, IRL people are talking about it's going to do well. I just wonder if that is going to be their strategy going forward, is porting the old stuff to PS5. Modern hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because the problem is, number one, they have backwards compatibility on Xbox, but when they talk about PC, most, if not all, of the Call of Duty games prior to BO4 are unsafe to play. They're just simply not safe to boot up anymore. For a lot of vulnerabilities they have. They've never fixed that. I mean, they have, but they haven't. They fixed like the RCE stuff in BO3, which is like the really scary stuff where people can just take over your computer. But you can still be booted offline. You can still get like data breached. It's just not safe to load up these old games. And I guess that is really the big appeal for these ports. And the fact that they are on PlayStation, which is a bigger fan base, is good. I'm just curious to see how that goes over, and if that will then inspire them to do more ports of old stuff.
Yeah.
Because the new stuff, for them, it just doesn't seem to interest people in the same way that Black Ops 1 is, for example.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that there's, again, I feel like there's a lot of positive. I was mentioning this in a video earlier in the week. We have Black Ops 7 Season 4 Reloaded. We have Black Ops 1 and 2 being ported. Vanguard got added to Game Pass. Now, I'm not saying that that's anything to write home about. And then Modern Warfare 19 was $5.99 on Battle.net this week. And then we have the Fanatics thing in like 2 weeks. That's MW4, the little get-together thing where we're probably going to see gameplay because people can play it.
Oh, yeah.
So there's just like, we're talking about like 6 Call of Duties being covered right now. And I don't know. They're just spamming it.
Yeah. I was going to say, a new Zombies map is coming out in like 3 days. And, I mean, outside of the Zombies community itself, like, no one's really talking about it. The other thing that kind of annoys me, this is a little side tangent, but one of the things that's really bothered me about how they're marketing new maps is, like, God, they got to over-explain everything 3 days before the map comes out.
Yeah, I saw somebody tweet that, actually.
Pages. God, it drives me insane, because I'm like, man, again, Unk speaking, but when BO2, when they announced a new map, all you had was the name, and then the map just comes out. And then all of that, everything in it, you just figure out when you play.
Yeah.
Now we get, and I'm not saying a trailer isn't exciting or anything, but we get like the intro cinematic, then we get a trailer, then we get a blog post explaining each room, and I'm like, just let me like do it when the map comes out. And I'm sure the map is going to be great, because again, Totenreich was great, not a map made by Treyarch apparently, and I'm going to assume that Koakujo is not made by Treyarch either. I'm sure it's going to be great.
I didn't know that they were not doing the maps. When did when did that change?
Well, I see. I don't know, and it kind of goes on like a map by map basis. On BO6, I know the map Shattered Veil was also High Moon. They've had various studios working on a couple of the zombies maps. I'm not even sure what Treyarch is making at this point anymore. Maybe they make like the map on disc or like the base map, and then the external parties are for other maps. I don't know. They're not really transparent about that, unless they are. But I know a lot of them have not been made by Treyarch recently.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, interesting because on one hand, some of the new maps are actually really cool, but is it better or worse if these cooler maps are not by Treyarch? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, they seem to be. It seems to be like stuff that isn't from Treyarch is doing better than what it is. Like that.
But we only have 2 maps left. We have this one coming out this week, and then there's one more map in BO7. And then, as far as I'm concerned, like, I don't know, is that the end of zombies? Because Modern Warfare 4 doesn't have anything. God knows what Sledgehammer's doing. And then with this new Treyarch, are they even interested in doing zombies the way that they have been in their next game in 2029?
Please no.
28?
Please
28.
no. Please no. That's all I can say.